I just received this lovely love letter from my true love, so let's open it up. Dear beautiful me, I love you so much. You are the best. You are an inspiration. You are an icon. You are an idol. Keep shining, my love. Love endlessly, me. XOXO. I will cherish this letter, this love letter, forever. Wow. Hello and welcome back to Sandra's Shelf. As you can tell, today we have something very special, and it's how to write a love letter. Now listen, I know that a lot of you might think that the art of writing love letters is dead, but I'm here to ensure you that it's not dead. Actually, it's very romantic, it's very freeing, it's very expressive, and I feel like everyone should write at least one love letter in their lifetime, and they should at least receive one love letter in their lifetime. And it doesn't even have to be from a romantic partner. The thing is, writing a love letter can be really daunting and really hard, especially if you don't typically write, and especially if you don't typically write letters. So although it's hard, do not despair, because I've got you in this video. I will share with you my tips and tricks on how I personally write love letters, how I think you should go about writing a love letter. Don't fret, because your love letter can still be unique to you and unique to your own personal writing style. The other reason why it's challenging to write a love letter is because it pushes you to think deeply and to reflect on the contents of your heart. Basically allowing you to not only express your thoughts, but express your emotions, your desires, and everything in between to the person that you're writing the letter for. Now, it doesn't matter who that person is, it doesn't matter how long you know that person. It is a very vulnerable act, and it can be very intimidating at first. Oh, and before you stop me right there, you can definitely write a love letter to yourself, as I have done for myself, because why not show the amount of love and compassion to yourself as you would someone else, as you would someone you're dating with, or someone you're close to, because at the end of the day, the person that you are with the most is yourself. So I do think that it's a good practice, first of all, to write a love letter to yourself, or to write a love letter to your future self. So before you discredit that exercise, I would highly recommend it. It's very therapeutic and it's a very loving exercise. Okay, but seriously, why write a love letter? Well, first, I believe that writing a love letter is a very personal and thoughtful touch versus, our common day texting and emailing. And that's why love letters still have that very enchanting element to them. The other thing is that when you write a love letter, you actually take your time. And when I mean take your time, not only with the mechanics of writing, so your handwriting and thinking about what you're gonna write, but also the mechanics of how you actually send out your letter, the mechanics of the physicality of actually putting the letter together, making it presentable, making it beautiful, making it loving and personal to the person that you're sending it to. Okay, so now that we discussed why is it so hard to write a love letter and why you should write a love letter, now let's get into my tips on how to write a love letter. My first tip is to be thoughtful. Okay, so listen up. It might seem very unromantic to you that you're gonna take the time to actually think about this love letter, and it's not just this spontaneous activity that you take a loose leaf paper and you write a letter and you send it out. And that's because you're not writing a letter, you're writing a love letter. So you need to actually plan what you're writing. You need to actually draft your elements to your love letter. Just think of it like this: the more unromantic it seems to you, the more romantic it will seem to them, or the more loving it will seem to them, because you actually planned and you actually made sure that you wrote a lovely love letter. Honestly, nowadays anyone can write 1 sentence, 2 sentences, anyone can buy just a dollar store card, write 2 lines, and I love you, sign it, and just hand it out. And it feels very cheap sometimes because it is very shallow, and although it's good to remind people that you love them and that you're thinking about them, sometimes what you really need is to actually express your emotions, not only for the other person, but for yourself. And that's why these letters need to be taught out. Like I said, you're not just expressing your deepest emotions and feelings and thoughts, but you're also expressing your gratitude by doing that. By adding a couple more sentences, by adding a few paragraphs, by having a direction and a specific intent to your love letter. That's how you show that you are thoughtful to this person. This is how you're gonna do it. You're gonna draft it out first, either on loose leaf paper or on a computer, and then you're gonna make sure you check up your grammar mistakes, because no one wants to receive a letter that has a bunch of grammar mistakes. You obviously want to get rid of the main ones, and if you need help with this, Grammarly is a perfect tool for that. You can just, send your letter to Grammarly or have the Grammarly plugin extension, and voila. They will actually even correct your sentence structure, and they will actually let you know if the word that you're using doesn't make sense in your sentence. So if you have struggles with writing or editing or making sure that your draft has no errors, then I highly recommend Grammarly. I recommend Grammarly for everyone, even people like me that write every single day of their lives. I use Grammarly. It's amazing. I will link it down below, and honestly, it's a free extension and it's a lifesaver, not only for writing love letters, but for anything, writing emails, doing projects, etc. So once you draft it and you edit it, that's when you finally take your letter and you write it down onto parchment paper. So my second tip is to make it personal. So what do I mean? I mean, like, ditch the formalities, ditch the dear and name, dear and last name, dear whatever, dear mom, dear dad, dear boyfriend. Just ditch that and really go with what you feel like going with. Like honestly, how would you talk to that person in real life? Do you call them baby? Do you call them my love, my darling, my sugar plum? I don't know. I don't discriminate. You guys can call whatever you want to your significant others and your family members. It's not my place to judge, honestly, not my place at all. So basically what I'm trying to say is to use a term of endearment. Did you see my letter? Did you hear my letter? Honestly, did you hear it? It says, dear beautiful me. I use beautiful, so honestly, just go with the flow and use whatever you feel is right. For example, my dearest love, my bestest friend, to my baby, to my love, to my plum, any of those will do. The idea here is that the more personal, the more vulnerable, the better. You really want to tug on their heartstrings. You don't just want to write a formal letter like dear Sandra. No, don't call me Sandra. Call me sugar plum beautiful baby. I don't know. Just not my name, okay? You call me my name all the time. Just call me what you call me. Call me by your name. Okay, that's irrelevant. So my third tip is to make it memorable. So this goes in two directions. First of all, write a letter that they will never forget. You need to write a letter that's memorable, that is the letter, and at the same time, make it memorable as in you need to show this person that the memories of them is really cemented into your own life and into your own memory. So you want them to feel like they are remembered, that they are loved, that they are cherished, and that any of their actions or any of the things that they say do not just slip by you, that you're actually attentive to them and you're actually paying attention to them and that you actually love them. Right? Just think about it for a second. Everyone wants to feel loved, everyone wants to feel remembered, and that's exactly the purpose of the love letter. So a way you can do this is by sharing a memorable memory that you have of them. Remember, this letter they might come back to time and time again. They're gonna cherish it, they're gonna keep it in their pockets, in their shoebox, whatever it is. This is a letter not to be discarded. My fourth tip is to tell a story. Have you ever heard of that expression that if you want to change someone's mind, you're gonna have to tell them facts, but if you want to change someone's heart, you're gonna have to tell them a story. So this is what happens here. When you tell people stories, they become enamored. They remember a story more than they remember facts most of the times. So it's nice to, share memories, share cemented facts about the person, but you can also share a story, and this story is completely related to whatever story you want to share. You could either talk about the time you first met, the day you first met, when you knew you fell in love with them, how your life has been before them, how your life has been since them. You can even share a story that they've already heard of, or you can share a story entirely new from your perspective that will make them feel loved and appreciated and remembered. And they probably might not even know. They probably might discover something new, and therefore deepening your bond together. So my 5th tip is to get creative. Now, what do I mean by getting creative? I mean, like, you can insert an inside joke by all means. It doesn't have to be all serious, no joke, no play. You can definitely insert an inside joke, and if you don't want to take that route, you can also insert a poem, a quote, a photo, anything that you feel like is gonna add an extra flair to the letter. Now, when I talk about adding poem and poetry, I mean, right, like a love poem, obviously. My favorite one is by Elizabeth Browning, and also my favorite ones are by Shakespeare, his sonnets. So before you even include a poem, make sure you know what the poem is talking about, because you could be inserting a love poem, but it could be talking about like a breakup, or it could be talking about something sexual. So just make sure you do some research before you insert a poem first. But the other way you can get creative is by decorating the letter itself. Now you see, you have all these lovely envelopes and different colored envelopes. What I would do if I was to write a love letter to someone or to myself, I would maybe, collect these envelopes and maybe even make an envelope out of all of these colors, or make some little kissing marks on the envelope if you feel like. Put some stickers on it. You have stickers. You have so many things that don't cost a fortune that can make your letter more impactful, more beautiful. The packaging also matters on a love letter. So like I said, you can also add items. You can add a photograph, your favorite photo of that person, or your favorite photo of you and them together. You can add poems, you can add stickers, you can add, I don't know, you can even add your perfume, like just add your perfume, and like when they open the letter, it's like you're giving them a hug. If you like to draw, or if you're good at drawing, or if you want to pay someone for a commission for them to draw something, you can also do that. Letters are amazing at containing so many things inside them, so you honestly could get creative in any way you want. You can even create a bookmark of a photo of you and them. Like, the options are limitless. All you have to do is get creative, look at some ideas online, and get going. Now, my last tip is to reaffirm your love. Now, obviously you're writing a love letter, but you'd be surprised at how you might forget to even say, I love you, or I'm looking forward to this and this with you, or I'm looking forward to the rest of my life with you, or my rest of my days with you, or I'm looking forward for whatever it is that you're looking for with that person. So just make sure when you end it sweetly. Say love you endlessly, love you forever, or you can kind of veer off onto the cliche here towards the end. Okay, you've already did all the creative work, the personal memorable work. Now you can go more into cliche category. Feel free. You need to reaffirm, you need to show this person that you have a commitment to them and you are grateful for them. And that's what I would do at the end of the letter. So that was the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed these tips on how to write a love letter. I hope I've inspired you to write a love letter, or at least try. You don't have to write it for someone else first. You can write it for yourself. I am proof here. I love myself. I want to keep loving myself, and I have a commitment to myself first. So remember that before you write a love letter. Commit to yourself, then commit to other people, and don't be afraid to be vulnerable. Don't be afraid to be you. Don't be afraid to go into your emotions, to go into your desires, and just honestly, just be honest. I feel like in our society, we're always shown to keep our emotions to ourselves, to keep it low key, to only send one, sentence here and there, to sign a card. But I'm telling you, people appreciate and enjoy greatly when you take the time, and that's why love letters are like an equivalent of a gift nowadays in our society, because no one takes the time anymore to sit down and actually compose a letter, and there's so much beauty and there's so much love in a letter. So Yes, let me know if you're writing a love letter, if you're writing a love letter for Valentine's Day. Do you commonly write love letters? Do you commonly receive love letters? I would like to know. I'm very curious. I'm a very nosy person. So to answer the question myself, I have written many love letters. I've written a love journal before to someone, and I have received love letters in the past. So I think I know a thing or two about love letters, and I would love to know what you guys think before I start blushing. Okay? Alright, love you guys. Bye.